Hello everyone, this is Left Adjoint and welcome to a game of Master of Orion 2, a game I have been toying with a bit lately. Of course I also played it when it came out, like a million years ago. And, I don't know, thought I might do a video or two showcasing one or more of the main strategies that people use in this game. I'm having fun these days with these settings: pre-warp, 8 players, large galaxy, impossible difficulty. And I'm going to be demonstrating one of the more overpowered races. Not one of these people, but who do we want to look like? Oh, that guy looks pretty awesome. Yeah. No, his citizens look really weird. Yeah, no, don't pick him. Do not pick him. Humans, boring. Icons, okay. The alien bug thing looks kind of nice. So first of all, we are going to be repulsive, and there are 2 reasons for this. One is because I like a challenge, but the other is that you really, on impossible difficulty level, without some points into, without charismatic or something, you can't rely much on the diplomacy side. You can get attacked pretty early regardless. So in view of that, taking repulsive it's more like you're less likely to get a great opening, but the worst case scenario doesn't get any worse. So I'm kind of okay with repulsive, and I'm going to take minuses on ship defense and ground combat. And that's because if our ships need to dodge beams or we're going to lose the game, then we're already in trouble. Like if we need, just 10% more transports, or if we're losing battles by just 10% on the ground, like something has gone wrong. You have to win the space battles first, and then usually you can just make a few more transports if you need to. And we're gonna, what government? We're gonna be unification government. If you can afford to, you should pick democracy or unification. They beat the pants off dictatorship, both of them. And all 3 beat the pants off of feudal, which cuts your research in half. And all the nice things you might get from feudal, like 4 extra points, and ship costs are just 2/3. Like, that sounds kind of nice, but if you can't ever research anything, it doesn't really pan out in the long term. So I wish feudal was stronger, because I really want to play more feudal races, but it just kind of sucks. Yeah, I might try to do a game with feudal, though, to punish myself. So anyway, unification, and we're going to take one of the strongest traits in the game over here, tolerant. Basically, every environment is a Terran environment, and it means you can basically just put tons of people on any planet. And already that's gigantic. Like that hugely increases the number of worlds that it makes sense to settle. But furthermore, it also completely eliminates pollution. Or the races ignore pollution. So basically, this is just insanely good. You don't need to make pollution reducers. Your production is insane right from the start. Great, fantastic trait. By the way, unification gives you a bonus to industrial production and food production. Those are gigantic, absolutely gigantic. The only real disadvantage of unification is that it takes forever to assimilate captured population, but that's kind of okay. You often just want to exterminate people anyway. And you can always make alien control centers if you really, really want to actually capture them. So anyway, we have 4 picks left. I'm going to go with +1 production and large home world. Now this is a production race. This is the production race. This is UniTol. And it's banned in a lot of online play, I guess. It's pretty strong, and you are going to see exactly why. Kavik. Of the purple color. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. Oh, there. Okay. Got myself a glass of water. Our home star name. Oh, can you wait? Can you rename stars or anything? I saw somebody doing that in some video, and I don't know if that's in a patch. Whoa. Okay, I'm not gonna push random buttons. I'd like to know if you can rename star systems after they're already there. Anyway, so for starters, this is a little bit subtle. What is going on in our own system? Now, this is pre-warp, so we can't leave our solar system yet. We need to start researching. What's in our system? A large, barren, rich, heavy gravity planet. This would be a pretty boring planet to a non-tolerant race, but for us, it's, you know, it's okay. Heavy G is very unfortunate. Heavy G is 50% penalty to everything, except taxes, I think. But you know, that's really unfortunate. But even still, it's also rich, which compensates a little bit for the reduced industry. So, in short, it's not a bad planet at all, and it fits 10 people. And you just, I mean, or 10 bug things, whatever. And you basically want a ton of people in this game. That's just really good. So, we are going to start by making a colony base to colonize this planet. That's going to be our very first move. Now, notice I can move everybody to production. This is great. Look at this. No pollution. Basically, you can just move back and forth however you want, whatever your priority is right now, and you never lose any industry. The other races, non-tolerant races, usually have to balance their production and science somehow to make sure their industry is efficient without a lot of pollution, but they're still getting the right quantity of science. But, you know, they need to do that because if they suddenly find that they need a ton of production, they can't just switch all the production because they lose some to pollution. But we don't have this problem. We don't have this problem. It's so amazing. Just change back and forth whenever you want. That's how you play a tolerant race. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like the challenge of managing pollution. I think that's a fun mechanic, but it's also fun to not have to worry about it sometimes. So there's a little bit of a judgment call for starters, which is, do we expand or do we start our research up? My first inclination is to just start expanding. In other words, research only the most basic technologies to get colony ships, well, scouts and colony ships. And just build colony ships because we have a ton of production. We probably have access to a ton of good systems, and so on and so forth. Here is the only thing that ends up not working about that is you don't have a lot to do with your colonies as you develop them. Sort of things are getting developed as you're going through. You're making colony bases. You're making colony ships. The capital sort of goes to researching, and it feels nice to start all of that with research labs. I should really test it out sometime to figure out what is really the best. But I do kind of like starting out with a research lab. The expansion phase can last a little while, and the research lab will provide flat 5 bonus to your research through that whole period. Now, I mean, you have to keep in mind it's 200 research points to just get to research laboratories. So, you know, that needs to give you its bonus for 40 turns even to just get that back. So you're really delaying your colonies a lot by getting, by researching up to computers, research laboratories rather. Okay, so we're going to build this colony right here, and what is it going to do? It's going to build housing, and it's probably going to do just this for a while. Fun fact, this colony is starving because it's not getting food because we don't have freighter fleets shipping food from the homeworld. But you can actually build housing your way out of starvation if you are a badass production race. So this is actually a good housing colony. Even without any food. I don't know, I think this is kind of funny. And what a housing colony is, incidentally, is a colony where you make housing and you produce new citizens, and as soon as you get a second citizen, you ship it off to a better, more developed world. And that lets you basically use your really terrible colonies without having to invest much in your terrible colonies. You can sort of use them to build up your other colonies. It's a really great thing to do, make housing colonies. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, I totally forgot. Talking, not paying attention. I just built trade goods for several turns, and that was really stupid, but whatever. It's not gonna lose us the game. What you want to do now is switch all the way back into science, so everybody goes into science. You don't need anybody in production. When you want production, you'll just get production. Other races have to worry about production stockpiles. We'll stockpile a little bit this game, but not too much. So what we want is to research up to research laboratories. Electronic computer, just basic technology. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get these two things. I would love to get dauntless guiding systems or optronic computers. Those are wonderful technologies, but research lab is the thing for us right now. I'm researching, and I'm also watching to see when my empire changes so I can manage it. And like watch your taxes, and your taxes go up. That means that the colony just grew. In this case, our homeworld grew, I think. Yeah. And there they are, research laboratories. Early. Yeah. Behind or ahead of schedule. So, the first thing we want to do is build that research laboratory. Oh, and I just remembered how much of this back and forth you do with unification tolerant. So much. So we're going to build that laboratory. And if you want to be really precise, you can sort of try to get it just right, where you sort of pull people off of production just as you're finishing. Anyway, I'm not going to bother with that when I'm recording, although I usually would if I'm trying to play my best. Standard fuel tanks, nuclear missile, standard fuel cells, titanium armor. And now we're going to get... Oh, we should have... I messed up the order. We should have gone the other way and gotten freighters first. Okay. So... Going to... Yeah, building... It doesn't matter what you're building if you have no production. But we are going to design ourselves a new scout. Oh, whoops. No weapon, no computer. Just to save a little bit of money. Do I want to make the freighter fleet first for the scouts? Yes, I do. This is, I mean, some of this stuff is very hard to figure out. The correct move, the absolute most optimal move. You need to test. You need to really think. Okay. Right, so essentially our question is, where are the good colonies? Are there any good colonies? And we're going to build something expensive to stockpile production, because we're not 100% sure if we want colony ships yet. Not 100%, so we might not have to even research them. Environmentalist, ha ha ha, you reduce pollution. We don't need you this game. We don't care about pollution because we